Teresa, remember the Will Dickerson case? That's the one that John was the cold case investigator on, and that was the first case that I honestly knew about through the Henry County report before it was shut down, and now he comes out with Henry report.
Right.
But Will Dickerson, was there somebody? You told me something one time about somebody being hanged in his family.
The story that was told to me by John was that John's grandfather had hung Will Dickerson's grandfather, and that at the time Will Dickerson did not know that. But after Will was released from jail, and during that time, supposedly John had made peace with Will about that, and had told me that he had talked and told Will, and they were okay with it. But yeah, and John said that's the reason that he fought so hard for Will Dickerson was because of that fact that his grandfather had lynched Will Dickerson's grandfather.
So do you find it strange that Jon Carroll wrote an article on April the 1st in his blog, Henry Report, the lynching of Will Dickerson?
I found it very, it was chilling. The wordage he used was chilling to me, knowing what he had told me.
So
his grandfather had lynched Will Dickerson's grandfather.
And so Will Dickerson told me he thought John had gotten him out of jail to create a case against him. John used that badge, that cold case homicide badge, that badge with a fake number that's not even a real badge. And he wrote some type of a statement in that Will Dickerson case to get Will released from jail, from prison, or wherever he was, so that he could actually go around with Will. Do you remember that he wrote some type of a statement on?
It wasn't a statement. What he did, and he has a book, and it was a synopsis basically of the whole case, and where he had taken the case piece by piece and investigated it, gone through it, found any discrepancies that he could find, and he put together a book, and supposedly that's what got him out. But the problem was, from what I gathered later, was that the person that was supposed to testify ended up being Matthew Moss, that was going to be helping Will's case.
Really?
Wound up being Matthew Moss, who was the investigator on that case. And
so is Matthew Moss related to Scott Moss, or is that the same person?
That's Matthew Scott Moss, same person.
Oh, who finds all the dead bodies?
Yeah, the body finder
was
involved
Lord.
in this, which makes it, then what do you do? You know, so it's a big...
So he was going to testify, but he was a witness?
He was actually there the last day, right before they let Will out, prior to Will going back.
Right.
When Matthew was there, Matthew Scott Moss was there to testify, and they used his testimony and findings to get Will off. But they would not let him testify.
In the trial?
Verbally testify. Yeah, there was something to do with the attorney, Will's attorney, and a possible payoff or some kind of...
So it's so amazing that this man can show up and be so helpful after his grandfather has lynched the black man, and come back in and write, oh, lynched, Will Dickerson got lynched. And this is the kind of thing I want the public to know. This is not a joke.
Supposedly he signed an agreement and has permission from Will to do a book and documentary and other stuff. So
yeah, well, he was trying to do a documentary on our town after he put out all this flu that, oh, because Ruth Nelson won't do this, I'm not going to help y'all. I'm not going to help y'all. I mean, it's just like some third grader.
yeah.
You have an obligation, if you're an officer of the law, to work for justice. You took an oath. I didn't. This is craziness. So I'm very leery of this lynching of Will Dickerson. I believe that Jon Carroll lynched Will Dickerson, just like his grandfather lynched him in the past. And lynchings are not popular outside in a tree anymore. They're very popular, though, in our courthouse system. So, Teresa, thank you. Thank you for your time. We're seeking justice. We will fight.
Yes.
We are working on a documentary, which we will be keeping this block hot with. Everyone will know about this craziness.
Yeah.
Dothan, Alabama.